Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brave. Wow. This is Brave Vincent Musashi. And I'm your host, Zanosuke. I guess I'll switch it up today. Anyway, the reason why I was sleeping here in this town square is to wait on the mayor, because there's some options I forgot to show you last time. So I started up another file because I'm going to need it. Now, when you ask the mayor, when you give the mayor Mysteria, he'll ask about whether or not you want to go and help him find Hotello because he's worried because he's not back yet. You could initially say, no problem, we'll go ahead and go look for you. He's like, okay, cool, thanks, Musashi. But you can do what we did initially and just say, don't worry about him, he'll be fine. And he'll be reassured for the moment. But if you talk to him again, he'll express his concern about Hotello still not being back and ask you again. We can reassure him again, but after that, you have to realize that this is another but thou must moment, and so we have to go find Hotello. We'll go. Alright, so if you go back to the mayor before finding Hotello, he'll ask you if you've seen him. And we're like, I couldn't find him. He asks us to keep searching because, well, it's important. We're trying to save a life here. Which is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go up to Twin Peak Mountain. We're going to go ahead and find Hotello. Because, hey, that's what we do. Alright, and get our free pass from Guard Lumpwood. Thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and fast forward to where Hotello is, or at least the location beforehand. He's actually at this junction here, between the two peaks. Also, the Lumina counter has a really big hurt box. If you can use it, you should always do so. It is so effective. It's literally the best technique in the game. Use it. I'm going to show you Tenderize and why I don't like using it that much. Yeah, that last hit takes forever to touch anything. But anyway, we're here with Hotello, sitting there, and we're wondering why he's not going out and getting Aqualin. He just feels like it's too dangerous to go on his own. And he feels foolish for trying to think that he can save someone's life. And we're trying to motivate him, saying, what are you saying? You can still do this. And then he starts going on about how you can't change fate, and we get kind of mad. And we can do one of two things here. We can go back to the village and let the mayor know that we found Hotello, but he is unable to continue the task. Or we could do what we really want to do and express our discontent with his attitude. What a letdown. He's like, you know what? Screw fate. We're going to do this ourselves. You wait here and think about how pathetic you're being, and we'll be back. Wait, we have 12 hours to do this. This is not a good thing. And he's like, we can't give up now. We have to go. And Musashi even powers through a waterfall to do it. Normally, that would hurt us. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this off. And it's one of the few timed events that you have in the game in order to complete. Now, you guys remember last time when I went to the castle and actually rested up. That was not an accident. That was me preparing specifically for this, to make sure that I wasn't slowed down in any capacity. It really isn't that tough if you know what you're doing, but the first time I went through this, it left enough of an impression on me that I just do that unconsciously. I know it's coming, I just go and rest. I don't care what I'm doing in the meantime, I just go and have a sleep at the castle. I just do it. We're going to go ahead and climb this wall here because it's climbable, and we're trying to cut all our time down here. This wall saves you so much time, do not forget it is there. I try to jump at this wall here because I think I can climb it too, but it's just the texture. Oh well. Alright, so we're gonna go up to the part where we actually met up with John to make that raft to go down the river. And we see this hanging rock here. we can use the Earth Scroll to bring it down. And thus we can continue on. And I missed that first jump. In order to demonstrate to you a good technique on using this, just press X immediately after you. Just press X after you make your circle around, and you'll actually land right on top of the next one. Easy as that.
This must be Aquaman.
And there's Aquaman. It's a renewable resource, unlike Mysteria.
We can make the remedy now. Better take it to Hotel.
You can actually use it to restore a little bit of HP and cure yourself of poison. It's good to have if you want to have an item that does more than one thing. You know, like the cheese. Oh god, the cheese is so good. I can't express how good the cheese is. If you have the chance to buy it, you have the room in your inventory, buy it. It's a good thing and a good investment. But hey, we've gotten Aquaman. We're already back to Tim. Wow, not Tim. Hotello. We're gonna say, hey, we got it. You might want to hustle back to the village because yeah, you still got enough time to save him. He's like, wait, we have no time. Holy crap! I am so sorry for what I said. You're like, it's okay. Just don't feel sorry for yourself anymore. And he expresses the opinion that he finds it hard to believe that Musashi is just a kid. And Musashi's like, hard to believe? Okay, whatever. And so we'll fast forward back to when we meet back to the village, and apparently everything's alright. Because we meet up with Tim! He's fine! Man, that remedy works fast! Which is exactly what Musashi says. Okay, and the mayor and Hotello saved him, and he asked us to be useful for a change, and you know what? We're a good guy. We'll just say, we'll think about it. And then Tim offers to introduce us to Hotello and Hilda, even though we already know them. Yay! But it's okay, because there's a big celebration in the store because Tim is fine. Yes! And we're the hero of the day, apparently. And she thanks us personally, and thanks us for saving her only son, even though he's really rude. And she gives us a reward, which is an orange. This may seem really innocuous, but it actually teaches us another technique. Plus, it's available to buy now. And we don't have fruit from where we come from, I guess, so we have to buy them. And Hotello calls her out and said, hey, he just saved your son. Why are you still charging the money? She's like, I still have to make a living. And apparently she can be quite the witch. And that threw me off when I saw that recently. I was like, wow, they really snuck that in there. Good job, censors. Anyway, we're gonna go to the castle and talk with the geezer. But I do have a question for you guys. What if we hadn't been as prepared as we were? What if we came here completely BP exhausted? What if we didn't have any of the foreknowledge that we have in order to climb Twin Peak Mountain in an efficient manner? What if we were so ill-prepared for this that it really cost us more time than anything? What if we didn't realize at that point that that wall right there was climbable and forced ourselves to go through this thing twice? Through this jumping area twice? What if we just had bad luck and managed to jump at exactly the wrong time and fall into the water below? What if in our efforts to actually gain more BP so we can do this thing, it costs us so much time that it would have been faster just to continue on? What if you were like 9 years old in doing this and didn't have any real pattern recognition skills? Because that's kind of an important thing in this game, or in games in general. Here's an experiment that I did since I was BP exhausted and had nothing left. What happens if you use an auto-use technique right here? Well, you don't consume any BP, and you don't consume any HP either, so you get to use a technique for free. Not like it really helps us, because, well, we're not exhausted in the fact that we haven't had any sleep. We're BP exhausted. Our life energy is drained. And so what we're doing here is spending just a little bit of time in order to get this stuff. In order to get the thing that we need in order to continue on. And just letting you know by now, in my other run, I have gotten the water by now. This moves pretty quickly. In reality, you don't have 12 minutes in order to get him. You have about maybe 5.5 in order to get this. And at this point, I'm actually kind of nervous. I am actually legitimately nervous. And I start missing jumps. Jumps that really should not be that hard to make. And again, what if we didn't have pattern recognition and didn't remember at the first point when we got the Earth Scroll that we could make boulders fall? What if you didn't open the pause menu and read the Earth Scroll and actually have it tell you this? What if you kept missing jumps because you were just kind of a spastic loser? A lot of what if questions I'm asking. But anyway, we managed to get Aqualin for the second time. And again, renewable resource. Cures poison, heals yourself a little bit.
We can make the remedy now. Better take it to Hotel.
If you want to grab it, go ahead and grab it. It's worth a free antidote. Or you could just go to the mines and go to the antidote worms and get an antidote that way. Also, I go back up to get that chest because I am far too lazy to want to come back here a second time just for that chest. As you can probably tell, this is gonna make getting back to Hotel in time very, very difficult. But as I said, I do not want to have to come back up here again. And by the way, I forgot to mention it. This is a rock that we have, and it needs to be appraised. Something I need to point out, any edge, any cliff edge that doesn't have grass on it, you can actually fall through. If it has grass on it, you can't. That's why our sensor watch has been going off and I've done absolutely nothing to solve whatever that is. But then I make a really big mistake here. I jump off and land on this bottom platform here and force myself to climb this pole. And now I literally have about 15 seconds to go back to Hotello. And unfortunately for us, for this version of Musashi, Tim will be a Vambi in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have failed this mission. Tim has become one of the walking undead. And now we have to face the consequences of that. We didn't realize that that wall was climbable. We didn't come here prepared. And now, things get shaken up in the village a bit. We tell him that we have the water. We can make it to Tim. But Hotel was like, we can't do it. There's just no fighting fate. And Musashi, very angry at his own failure, runs to the village himself to give the mayor Aqualin. Hoping against hope that it's not too late. We give him Aqualin, but it's too late. We ask him to try, but he tries to stress that Tim's a Vambi now. We can't really save him. We're disappointed. And we're trying to urge him to do it. And the mayor tells us that he's going to try. And that the Vambi nest, these things that these Vambis come from, if we can destroy that, then possibly we could bring him back. We left Hotel at the mountain and tell the mayor as such, but he asked us to go to the castle and find a rescue team. And now we have to find out where these ghouls are coming from, and wonder why my controller has to be such a dick. And understandably, Hilda's in shock. Her son is a monster now, her only son. And thus, until we figure out how to get Tim back to being a human being, the store is closed. But it's odd. The bread shop is closed too.
Yeah, what do you want?
Let's ask Connors what he thinks about this thing. He doesn't like the restaurant owner for some reason. Possibly because he found that there's maybe treasure under the basement. I mean, but it's a basement in a restaurant. You think he would have found it by now, you know? But let's go see how Mint is doing. Those consequences I was telling you about, the things that are shaken up, Hotello goes missing as far as I know. And we really never see him again. I don't know if there's a quest to make him come back, but pretty much we never see Hotello again. We'll figure out how to solve these problems next time, when we find the Vambi's nest.